Welcome to the Fearfic Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Chelsea, and irritable ghostly man-horde Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet-related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
Chelsea, you stand accused of being a thief. How do you plea?
Guilty.
She admits it. She steals corn.
I do.
Steal corn.
I've stolen much corn in my life.
Now, is this off of Dead Palette's plate, or...
Yes.
Oh, okay. Good night, everybody.
And also out of cornfields and...
Out of cornatoriums, out of cornucopias.
Now,
out
do you
of
actually...
corn art.
Do you just steal corn and, like, hoard it like a dragon? Like a corn dragon, or...?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then I throw it at people.
Chelsea
Who are
corn
driving
dragon.
by me.
What, so are you stealing it for sustenance, for trophy? Why do you steal the corn? Sick
Because I
sexual
can.
pleasure?
I mean, it's not sick. It's pretty
For
normal.
your sick sexual pleasure, yeah.
Pressure.
Sick sexual treasure with the corn dragon.
She...
New name for the podcast.
No, we're not calling the podcast Corn Dragon.
Yeah. No, we're calling it Sick Sexual Treasure. That's the name of the podcast. And then comma, with the corn dragon, which is Chelsea, who's the new star of the show.
Headline newspaper: Corn Dragon hoards corn for sexual power.
Mm-hmm. By the way, there's this stupid fucking thing on Windows where I mouse over it every once in a while and news stories pop up. And one of them says, why an undercooked Wendy's burger is causing a commotion. Fuck you. Anyway.
Listen, you go in there and you order your burger patty, fucking medium rare or whatever.
Yeah.
Would you trust a medium rare burger from Wendy's?
I mean, I trust Wendy and she's medium rare.
Mm.
She's a 10, but she likes her burgers medium rare.
Damn.
Is that meme still a thing?
Yes. She's a 10, but she's actually a 5. What?
She's a 10, but she's hoarding a bunch of corn.
She's a 10, but she's ugly with a terrible personality, and she's... Wait, what?
She's a 10, but she keeps having cockroaches crawl out of her orifices.
Mm-hmm. She's a 10, but she doesn't exist. Oh well. Anime, everybody.
Anna, that's the joke. Everybody take a bow. The joke was anime.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so what are we doing?
We're snaking.
Why?
So early on, we had a meme of snaking and how it's the hot new kid thing that kids are doing. So I went to Inferkit.com and typed up a little paragraph, and we're going to see what it interpolated off of this.
Ooh. See, that's your mistake, going to Inferkit instead of NovelAI. But again,
What is snaking?
exactly.
Snaking is the hot new trend that all the kids are doing.
Mm-hmm. Kids
Now,
are
you
calling
might-
it snaking.
Kids are calling it snaking.
Isn't that just where you, like, clean a pipe out of, like, hair or clean hair out of a pipe or something?
In a way.
That's what we had to do to the toilet after you did that terrible thing to it. But no,
Yeah,
that's not what we're...
I do horrible things.
After she tried
She
to
was-
flush that hairy person.
No, she was like, the cops were knocking on her door. Open up, we know you have all that corn in there. She's just furiously flushing corn down the toilet.
It's like the husk, so it's all hairy. Yeah. That makes sense.
Get in, go down this cornhole.
All right.
So here's the opening paragraph, and everything else after this paragraph was made up by Inferkit. And apparently we have a new AI that we can go to called NovelAI. I haven't figured it out. Looks like some weeb shit. I don't understand it.
Dead Palette is like, what do I do with the open novel? I don't understand. Do I type? What do I type? The Google? I don't.
It does seem like it's more promising, though, because it gives you a lot of like little knobs and levers to work with. So maybe you can get more of the story you want out of it.
Possibly. I haven't touched any of those, but yes.
Haven't touched the knobs. Okay.
Listen, I'm not about touching knobs, okay? Fucking hell. I don't know what
Tonight-
you've heard.
He uses tongs when he turns on the stove.
Exactly.
He's like, no homo. I don't want to touch these knobs. Just going through this ridiculous shit to heat up a...
Stove has been on for like 10 years. My bills are astounding, but I'm not touching this shit.
So your home must be incredibly hot. No, it's perfectly normal temperature. I'm not touching the thermostat either. It's cranked all the way cold.
That's right. All
Tonight,
the way cold, all the way hot.
All the way cold.
In the middle of the Venn diagram, me, sitting comfortably.
He is hot and cold. He is the person in the Katy Perry song.
Yeah. I'm the person in Katy... Wait. All right.
You are Katy Perry.
I am Katy Perry. Katy Perry, Lifetime original movie, starring Slimebeast as Katy Perry. What the fuck?
It's a very different movie than what you're thinking. It's Slimebeast and a bunch of fencing competition.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
See, the joke is Perry.
Yeah.
Tonight, at 9 o'clock, on the 9 o'clock nightly news with Jerry G. Operheim.
You wrote this.
Operheim?
How are you not reading it? You wrote it.
I know. I wanted to pick the most ridiculous, unpronounceable, un-nightly news name imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked something. Operheim. I think it's supposed to be Operheim, was what I was thinking. We discuss the viral internet challenge that has parents asking for more oversight from the government. Kids are calling it snaking, and it's worse than it sounds. Over to Jerry G for more on this disturbing trend.
I thought this was Jerry G talking. Boy, the AI already lost its way. Oh, wait.
So we're going to... From there, everything else is generated by the AI. So Abysmii, start reading.
Most parents aren't terribly happy with the government school and would like to get their kids out of the house so they can pursue their own interests.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a major obstacle to this. No matter how independent a child may seem, they're still pretty dependent on the rest of the family, and most parents find themselves pushing against or getting pulled into those roles from time to time.
Listen, I support the right of anti-vaxxers to not get the vaccine, but I think it should be a 50-50 equal choice where you either get the vaccine or COVID. I think that should be your choice. Like, literally, they inject it into you. Which one? They hold up 2 vials, and they say, which one would you like, sir? I'll take that COVID. Ain't no harmful vaccines for me. Oh Trump's America.
I like that this immediately is just taking a homeschooling trend off of snaking.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it goes from snaking to, like, I know you just had children, and, like, you are supposed to, like,
I have
teach your
children.
But
I am homeschooling.
I also don't, like, we understand parents also want nothing to do with their children.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is interesting because this is a very harmful trend. Because I was listening to this podcast the other day with these 2 young people, these Zoomers who were completely batshit out of their mind, had no idea what they were saying, were completely deranged, detached from reality. And I realized that they had been snaking too long.
Oh no.
And I realized that it was the last episode that DP and King Mob did together.
Yes. That's where social media comes in. Social media has made the web a much more rewarding place for children. Here's your reward, little Becky. Look at that. That's what it does.
It is true that the internet has made it easier for children to learn on their own, where it's like the teachers at school might not necessarily teach you, but
the teachers at school were much less likely to show you their dick. Because mostly they were female. It is easier, just by numbers, it is easier to socialize with people who live far away and communicate through instant messages, status updates, and pictures. If social media is already a motivating factor for a lot of parents, then another reason to leave home is so they can restrict what their children are allowed to do. What? Wait, the only way to restrict what your child does is to get them away from the internet because they can do anything. That makes sense.
Well, it's like they always say, if you love something, crush it dearly in your palm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a Nirvana song, I believe, right?
We were doing Radiohead.
Something, crush it in your palm. I'm depressed. When
I have stomach ulcers and I'm going to kill myself like a bitch.
All my critics say my angst is fake. Wait till they find out. Anyway.
How many shotgun shells it takes.
God damn it. I like how it sort of isn't really like a Nirvana song. It's more like, I don't know, what band would sound like that? That sing-songy kind of way.
I don't even know what you're remotely getting at. I can't do a impression of, what's his name? Mr. Headless.
Jim Smokey, yeah.
Jim Smokey.
Anyway.
This has become known as the curriculum creep.
Okay. God damn it. Can we have one episode where we don't have to talk about the pedophile accusations against the curriculum creep?
Curriculum creep. I'm going to show you how to multiply fractions in your head.
I'm going to show you how to multiply fractions while giving me head.
What? No.
What?
Known as the curriculum creep, the increasing emphasis on school subjects and educational opportunities at home. So, overloading these kids with homework.
Curriculum creep.
Enter the snaking challenge. I am kind of amazed that we went basically 3 paragraphs without talking about the snaking challenge, and then they brought it back in.
Yeah, I'm amazed Inferkit brought it back in. Just diverging and going into random nonsense.
Many parents are asking the government to give them the power to make their children less dependent on them and have more control over their lives.
Give us the ability to abandon our children legally at any moment.
You legally want to be able to drop these 16-year-olds off at the firehouse. Mm-hmm. Like, if you can do it with infants, why can I not do it with my 16-year-old?
God damn it.
The kids are calling it snaking. When your parents put you in the car, drive silently to the nearest fire station and drop you off.
Yeah.
Never to be seen again.
I'm just picturing a firefighter opening the door, and out on the doorstep, swaddled in a blanket, is a 16-year-old on their phone, and they just roll their eyes like, ugh.
I can't tell if that's what the story is literally getting at, is that snaking is abandoning your children.
Oh, no.
But that's kind of the most amazing opportunity. I love it.
Well, let's find out.
This week, in Keeping Up with Kids segment, in our Keeping Up with the Kids segment, we will discuss the snaking challenge, which is not just an internet phenomenon. It's a tactic some parents use to get out of the way, allowing their children to get more independent and spend more time with their own interests.
Everybody get independent. Yeah.
Why are the kids talking about the snaking challenge as though it's a good thing?
We're hitting the gritty for independence.
I just want mommy to love me.
Sorry. What about loving you?
Oh, the children are just like, I just wish mother would love me.
The parents are like, snaked! Get out of here.
Snake!
Get out of here, snake!
Ghost raise the child. Ghost raise the child.
We will talk to one parent who will tell us about the snaking challenge and the effort he made to rein in his son's ability to build things in this video.
Stop building things. Stop.
Oh my god, it's his...
He's just building things in the background. The father's trying to talk to him, and he's in the background just building Legos. Stop building those Legos so loudly!
Oh my god, no, like, I'm imagining, like, that one Boy Scout who built, like, what is it, a nuclear fission machine in his backyard for a
Tom
Boy
Green,
Scout patch, like, in the 60s or some shit?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining that. Son, I need you to stop building nuclear weapons in the shed.
I was picturing he was just playing Minecraft.
That works too.
Stop building!
He's just building a nuclear bomb in the backyard. It's just like, are you concerned about your son building a nuclear bomb in the backyard? Listen, I try to stay out of his life.
I told him to aim it away from the house.
Told him to aim it away from the house. Honestly, I don't know where he got the intelligence from. The internet is just an incredible thing. YouTube is a powerful tool for teaching children how to build nuclear bombs.
That's right. All right, is this me now?
In the meantime,
in the meantime, if you have young kids, you might want to keep an eye out on your social media for videos of young children carrying sticks and just standing there. Then make sure you don't get snaked. So, like, it's taking, like, young children just taking sticks and shanking people?
I want double. Draw a group of children standing there, staring, each one holding a stick. And I want you to tweet it at, like, the 5 most popular accounts on Twitter and just say, "Don't get snaked." All right?
Just do it. Okay, so here's what you do, Double. You take one kid and then just, like, trace them out and then copy that child and then just kind of, like, flip it around, tweak it a little bit. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. I bet you could use, like, speaking of AI, you could use one of those AI imaging programs. Children carrying sticks and just standing there, stare at camera, cinematic.
This really sounds like Rule of Rose, where the kids have the paper bags over their heads and a bunch of sticks, and they're just waiting to find an adult and beat the shit out of them with sticks.
Yeah.
Snickers. Pelting them with Snickers.
Kids are calling it snickered.
Kids are calling it snickering. No, not laughing. Pelting old people with Snickers. Okay, so this is me now, right?
Depending on the fragility of the old person in question, you could do a lot of damage with a Snickers. They're a hefty candy bar.
You're not you when you're pelted with Snickers. Edited for television is a sentence in this. Edited for television.
And a whole paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
I really want somebody to get hit with a Snickers in like just such a way to where their spine breaks and it instantly kills them. And then instead of charging the person who threw the Snickers, they charge like the minimum wage 16-year-old at Kroger's who did the checking out of just like boop, boop. And they get sued and put in prison.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, if you freeze a Snickers, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Jerry G. Oberheim is NBC's executive producer for the Nightly News with Brian Williams and for Today.com. He is author of the book Jerry's Family Christmas and a former host of The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Somehow. And then I'll just read the last paragraph here. Got a question?
Yeah.
It's sort of like the story. The AI put its hands on its hips, stared you down, and said, "You got any questions about this? Or are we good?" It's all pretty clear, I think.
It really is like it wrote a story and was just like, "So you're pro homeschooling is what I'm getting."
God damn it.
That or anti raising your own children. It's very ambiguous.
Homeschooling while not being there.
It's so weird that it is able to pick up on like issues and just not. It doesn't put them together in any coherent way, but it understands what you're wanting. It's just putting it in weird order.
Yeah, and it is the quintessential Inferkit story in that it is inferior to NovelAI.
So this is AI generated from NovelAI.
Mm-hmm.
This girl is every girl.
Now, I wrote the title, and I wrote the opening paragraph, and I wrote the closing line, because it was one of those things where it wasn't really wanting to end, so I just, closed it out and wrote the end. So...
Well, okay, so we should, at some point, you, me, Abysmii, all three of us, have an AI write a story, and then we will just edit it up, and then it'll be our own.
And I would really like to see the really good ones. I want to see them filter their way into No Sleep, and I want people to keep track of it secretly, of how high they get and how popular they get. I want a Blumhouse motion picture deal, buying the rights to produce one of these AI-generated stories with the outsiders, the normies, not being told it's AI-generated until it's all said and done.
And if it's AI-generated, that means that it's machine learned, which means that it's using information on the internet. Mm-hmm. So we have to, at that point, go to everybody on the internet and share the profits with them.
Everybody gets 0.000000000.
That would be funny if there's enough movies that get made that are AI generated and you have to share the profits, then boom, I think we just created our own universal basic income via AI dungeon.
It makes you wonder too, like, there's the typical thing where you're like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies are so generic and alike that they might as well have an AI writing it. It's like, actually, You probably could sit down with one of these AIs and just say, write an outline for a movie, and it might give you a beginning, middle, and end. And from there, you could just do whatever, you know?
And then just throw a twist on there of like, hey, what if this one is actually secretly about, the power of friendship? And that'll be completely different than the other ones.
Yes. And, Iron Man builds his suit, but then his enemy builds his own suit, and the two of them fight in their suits. It's like, that could be an AI, And
they just punch each other so hard that they fly out of their suits, and then they end up crawling into each other's suits, and then they have a realization, and they walk a mile in each other's shoes.
Walk a mile in each other's shoots.
Shoots?
Yeah.
In each other's poop shoots?
Each other's suits. All right, so
this girl is
every girl, yes.
Chelsea, are you every girl?
I am not.
You're not like other girls?
I am you.
That's true. That's true.
So creepy.
I'm you, Brandon. One day I'm going to skin you and wear your skin.
Mm-hmm.
One day I'll wear your face.
Yep.
Hello, r/no sleep! ! I am an SCP Foundation researcher who recently found himself trapped in the back room.
Yeah.
Amazing. Some of you may be aware that creepypasta creatures such as Slenderman and Siren Head stalk this place.
Neither of which, by the way, are creepypasta characters, but we're just trying to inform the AI.
Yes. It's all semantic, whatever. Well, I found an insane list of rules that I had to follow. And at the end of the ordeal, I became one of the holders, armed with only my PhD in science and a gun that shoots amnestic darts.
Oh my god.
I had to undertake. Oh, you missed out.
God,
you missed out. I had to undertake this horror-fueled adventure alone. Or did I? As it turns out, I met a strange goth girl who might have been a ghost.
All right.
Anyway,
did we cover all of No Sleep there, except cannibalism and Wendigos?
Yeah, and,
we still have the last paragraph for both of those things.
True.
Anyway, here's my story from the beginning. All right, that is a tall task. You're giving it all of this conflicting information, trying to get it to work together. No way this comes together. I will be astounded. My jaw will be on the floor.
Well,
I would, if this story manages to mix all of these things together, I would definitely like and subscribe to the Fear Fiction Podcast. That's all I'm saying.
I would like and subscribe if it didn't. So either way, like and subscribe, everybody.
Hit that like button and subscribe.
Great. You really contributed.
I did it.
Can we cut that out and put it at the end of every episode from now on? Hit that like button and subscribe? Question mark?
Oh my god. I was working late last night when I stumbled upon a hidden room on the second floor of the building where I work. It's not supposed to be there, a secret office that no one else knows about. But what caught me off guard was the fact it didn't seem like any sort of office. It felt more like something straight out of a horror movie.
And we should point out this is the point where the AI is writing that sentence and below this.
There were thousands upon thousands of books lining every inch of wall space and spilling onto the floor in piles. There were candles all over the place, lighting up a scene where everything appeared to be covered by dust, except for the books themselves, which seemed untouched and pristine. In the center of the room was a desk made of dark wood with a large book open on it. On top of the desk was a chair made entirely of gold.
Not sitting by the table.
It's
Not
sitting on
by
top
the desk.
of the table.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the book is open underneath the chair?
Possibly. It is an interesting, compelling visual, Golden chair on a desk with a book open between its legs, I guess. Wait a minute, is this symbolism?
It's hard to tell if the chair would actually be solid gold or not.
If you think about it, what are we except for open books between our legs?
What are we except for golden chairs on God's butt?
What? God's butt. Are you lost? Said a voice behind me. I turned around and saw that the speaker was a girl dressed in black, but wearing a white dress shirt beneath her long coat. She looked very familiar. If so, you're welcome to stay. How do you know I'm lost? I asked. She smiled, revealing a mouth full of sharp teeth. Because I live here, And because that's the only way anyone ever finds their way in here, very backroomsy, you've got to stay, or else you'll never leave. Wait. You've got to stay, or else you'll never leave. Not unless you want to become a part of our collection.
You've got to stay, or you never leave. That's some Nirvana lyrics right there.
I don't know. That seems kind of Hotel California-ish.
Hotel Nirvana?
Yeah, precisely. I hesitated before slowly nodding. Okay, I said, walking towards the desk. What's your name? And number? And...
ASL?
And ASL.
Ass-sized loser?
Ass-sized loser, yeah.
What are your measurements?
You shouldn't talk to strangers, she replied, especially ones without names. Ooh, that's an edgy way to introduce yourself. What's your name? You shouldn't talk to strangers, especially ones without names.
Ooh. Spicy.
Just Republican vampire yourself. Ooh.
Republican vampire yourself, bitch. Hey, I'm disagreeing with you on the internet. Why don't you go Republican vampire yourself?
If you haven't seen it, there's a show called Mission Hill. And in one of the episodes, one of the main characters has a friend named the Republican Vampire. And he's like Marilyn Manson, but he's Republican, and that's the gimmick, and it's very funny. I highly recommend people watch it. I tried to ignore her comment and focus on the book instead. They were arranged in neat little rows, each labeled with a small wooden tag nailed to the spine. There we go. Most of them seemed to just be regular novels and biographies.
But then I spotted one book that I couldn't believe I'd never seen before. It was called The Great Moth Plague of 2099.
Yeah.
Whoa!
That's fantastic.
The Great Moth Plague.
Yeah.
And it was completely blank, except for a drawing of the Mothman statue with the great ass.
Double. Draw Cyberpunk 2099 Mothman.
Yes.
Wake up, Mothman. We have impending doom to predict.
God damn it.
And it was completely blank. I picked it up and began flipping through the pages. Nothing. There wasn't even a title page. There weren't any words anywhere on this entire thing. Just pictures. Pictures of moths. Big ones, tiny ones, some of them just big enough to be considered butterflies now.
That's not how it works, Mr. Scientist.
None of them were the same. All of them were dead. All of them had holes in their wings, holes that were shaped exactly like bullets.
Ooh.
So the holes were shaped like bullets, or they were bullet holes?
Either way.
Both?
Wait a minute.
Both is good.
Do you remember, oh my god, bullet with butterfly wings? These are butterflies with bullet wings. Why is this such a musically referential episode?
It really is, but I will say this, it is bizarre how it's like it understands what is eerie and like what's off.
Yeah.
You know, how to make you uneasy. And like, even though the results are kind of funny, there's also ones that are really good. Like, this is all imagery without any meaning, right? Like, there's no underlying, like, I'm trying to say this about the human condition, but it understands what symbolism looked like. And it looks like a moth book with holes in the wings of the moths.
And I love the idea where it's like, all you need to be a butterfly is to be a moth, but bigger. That's how science works.
Yeah, so you go from caterpillar to cocoon to moth, and then if the moth gets big enough, it's a butterfly.
Right, exactly. If it eats enough. All right, is this me now?
Yeah?
This isn't a book, I said aloud. It's a calendar. The girl nodded. Yes, that's correct. Why does it look like a book? Because it's meant to be read, but the words are mostly just for show, for us. So I guess only people like her can see the words. Us? I asked. She shrugged. Sometimes they tell stories, sometimes they don't. Mostly it's just there to scare people away. But that doesn't mean we can't use it to our advantage. It might have taken us years to get here, but we finally found a way into the world of the living. And now, we finally have a chance to take what belongs to us. All of us.
Ooh. So we have, a motive and a mission that these people want to, take back something. And then, so they're trapped in, like, the back rooms, and they want to get out, and they want to reclaim what's theirs, I guess. And then it's just weird how it's fleshing out motives. It has, like, a general idea of things being contained that want to get out.
Mm-hmm. In the back rooms. In an office that you've never seen before in your SCP lab.
The whole scene, the dialogue that they had just there, first off, is like paced bizarrely well. Mm-hmm. And it's also, it's just laden with like David Lynch. You could see David Lynch directing a Backrooms movie with a manic pixie dream girl and a detective doing this exact scene.
And completely disagreeing with your interpretation that that's what it is.
Yes, exactly.
All of these people think it's the back rooms with a dream girl. They're idiots.
They're idiots. Don't they understand that she is the duality of nature?
Yes. She is the moth to your butterfly.
Now just think about it. What happens when a moth gets too big? It becomes a butterfly no matter what. Yes. Every time, just automatically becomes a butterfly.
God damn it.
What is the deal with all of these butterflies?
What's the deal with the back rooms? George, you've got to come out of the back rooms. I can't, Jerry. That's the whole point.
I want to be back there. The hum it's doing it for me, Jerry. It's doing it for you.
Kramer, have you seen George? Oh, he's gone. He's in the back rooms.
He no clipped.
Come out of the back rooms, Jerry.
He no clipped.
God damn it.
So stupid.
He did a back flip into no clip. Always do that stupid rhyming shit.
Who's all of you, I asked. Just about everyone, she answered. We've all been waiting all this time for a long time. There we go. Waiting for what, I asked. To eat you, to drink your blood, and to start a new era, a new age, an age of the moth.
Ooh, moth.
It's also predicting, like, the fact that it's bringing up moths and is a book, and the book is actually a calendar. It's like Mothman is a harbinger of bad things about to happen, so I'm kind of like interpreting, what if there was a book with blank pages, like it said, before it reneged on that and was like, no, there's actually
say that, but yeah,
there's actually pictures of moths in there. So like, if it's actually a blank book, and then if you just occasionally flip through the pages, there will be an impending disaster written in there. That's a cool idea.
It's the moth plague of 2099. So
it is telling you the date. Maybe that's when it all comes to a head and we get the ultimate disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I stood up and angry and backed away from her. I think I'd better go, I said. You sure you want to go? She asked. You might change your mind once you see what's coming.
God damn it, so Mothman-y.
I will say, to eat you and drink your blood and start a new era, a new age, an age of the moth, it kind of started to sound like she was being sarcastic, like, to eat you, to drink your blood, when she wasn't being serious.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation.
They really just want to eat your clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I swallowed hard before turning around. I had no idea what she was talking about, but I knew I wasn't going to find out by standing there. So I walked back to the desk and sat down on the chair.
And angry.
The chair that is currently on top of the desk?
Yes! Hold on one second.
I glanced at the book again and tried to focus on the cover, just in case there really was something written inside, something that would explain why I was being warned away.
Just like in a video game, when it's algorithmically generating stuff, it's like, this roughly goes here. And so the story version of that is doing the same thing of just like, a chair goes in an office, and because of gravity, it doesn't go on the ceiling, so just anywhere on the floor, it just puts it on top of the desk.
Yeah, exactly.
But as soon as I opened
but it's moths. Okay, sorry.
But as soon as I opened the cover, I felt a shock run through my body. My heart raced and my eyes darted around the room. Everything suddenly seemed blurry. And then suddenly everything went black.
You're not going to say darkness all that I see? Really?
You covered it for me.
God damn.
There we go.
I came to a few moments later. The first thing I noticed was the light. It was bright, and everything was incredibly clear. It reminded me of the emergency lights that hospitals turn on during power outages. The next thing I realized was that I was sitting on a bed, but the bed was made of stone, and the sheets were white, and the walls were made of marble. There was a door right beside me, and it was painted black. No colors anymore. I want them to be black.
I saw a woman in sundress. I can't remember the lyrics now. Why am I blanking? I would have to go through all the lyrics to remember the exact
saw
lyrics.
a woman in a undress.
I wanted to pull it up and undress.
Then some cops came over and said, "Is this guy giving you trouble?" Now I'm in a prison yard and all I do is break rubble. What? Anyway.
I saw the lady and
Sorry, again.
I saw a lady and I had a red flag and I wanted it painted red.
God damn it.
I tried to stand up and angry and almost immediately fell forward onto the stone floor. My legs didn't work. I couldn't feel them. And my legs didn't work.
What?
And my arms didn't work either. I lifted them up in front of me and they remained limp, completely useless. As I struggled to get up, I heard someone walk into the room. I tried to look up but couldn't. My neck wouldn't move. I could only stare forward. And so I think that the emergency lights of a hospital during a power outage is such a weirdly specific thing for the story to write.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it is in the perfect timing because he's waking up on a bed, like as if he were in a hospital, but it's a stone altar room or some kind of crazy shit.
And maybe it's a halfway house or mental institution because Chelsea, read.
Welcome to the Holders, said a voice. My name is Erica. Then I heard footsteps coming closer. Someone was walking towards me. Don't try to speak, said Erica. It will only hurt more. We're going to fix that soon enough. She stopped a few feet away from me and reached out to touch my face. I flinched when she moved too close, but she didn't stop.
Reach out and touch face.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, she leaned in and kissed the side of my head. You have a beautiful face, she whispered in my ear. Now let's make sure it stays that way.
How ominous.
This is what
Is she going to moisturize his face?
This is what Chelsea's going to say before she pulls off my face and starts wearing it.
God damn it.
Don't I say a version of that every time I get too drunk?
Do you know that? You know that? What is that thing? Grapefruit, your man.
Oh yeah.
Is Chelsea gonna make Big Love your love?
Yes.
I closed my eyes and tried to think of something else, anything else, but the pain was starting to creep up my spine and into my skull. AI knows where pain goes. You should relax, said Erica. We're almost done. I opened my eyes and tried to focus on her. Almost? I asked. Almost, she repeated, then disappeared. Right.
This is when another person entered the room, and they introduced themselves. Hello, my name is Pain Skull.
Pain Skull. God damn it.
Hi, said another voice. It was female. Man, this person is the AI must be a misogynist because they're saying female. Maybe it's because you said goth girl.
Yeah.
It's using that kind of language instead of saying woman.
Well, it's No Sleep too, so there's going to always be a waifu character, or 5.
You're right. That's true. It sounded like it was coming from outside of my head. I'm Rachel. I forced myself to focus on her. Why am I here? I asked. You're here because you were given a choice, she answered. A choice between life and death. And your decision has already been made. I tried to sit up, but I failed. That's pretty ominous. Like, your decision was already made, and you don't know whether you're in, life or death already?
Yeah, it's odd. Everything in this is just ominous. Like, every single bit of it drips ominous, ominous drippings.
There's no,
There's just a bunch of ominous mucus all over this.
Mucus, yeah.
Ominous mucus here for blah, and this spits out a bunch of black vial.
Ominous mucus. Just keeps talking for a half hour in an infomercial.
Just projectile vomiting, enough to where it's tilting them and they're having trouble standing up straight, but they're still able to recompose themselves. They're just kind of slipping and sliding everywhere.
And their arms are doing that pinwheel thing while they're trying to stay up.
And they're also trying to wave their finger at your face at the same time near the camera, just trying to tell you something, but they keep getting blasted around.
They bring out 2 people, test group people on an infomercial, and they just start puking at the site. God damn it.
And they're clearly like freaked out because this guy he's always spitting up the black bile, but these two have never done that before, and you can see the panic in their eyes, and he's just completely calm about it. He's just like,
fucking hell.
Whose turn is it?
My turn?
Okay.
Rachel laughed. I told you not to try that yet. It'll only hurt worse. Who are you? I managed to ask. How does it matter? She replied. I'm just a voice. Just a presence in your mind. A ghost who haunts your dreams. Every girl you've met tonight. And every girl you'll ever meet. That's me.
Ooh.
That's
this
good.
girl is every girl. There's her title.
I closed
Amazing. This could almost be seen as a commentary on, misogyny and just like chasing tail and like not seeing a person for who they are. And so this is representative of every woman because the author or the narrator here is a misogynist. That's my interpretation.
And that will cause the Great Moth Plague.
Yes.
Moths. See, moths equal women.
Wait a minute.
The moths represent femininity.
Maybe these women are related to moths in that they're mothers. Mothers, yeah, say.
Authoring caterpillars out of their vaginas. She's a 10, but she keeps shitting out caterpillars from her cooter.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Jesus
I closed my eyes and tried to block out the voice, but it didn't help.
DP's voice.
I closed my eyes and tried to block out what that image was.
Didn't help. I'm telling you this for 2 reasons, said Rachel. First, because I want to warn you about the dangers of the real world. Second, because I know you can hear me. I can see you looking at me. And I don't care if you can't feel me, because I'm still here, inside of you. I tried to reach for the door to escape, but my hands were still numb.
My knees were weak.
Most people... It's really painting with that no-sleep brush where the narrator is, like, helpless. You know what I mean? I was too frozen to move. I was too shocked to do this. I was too, I don't know.
Well, here, they've clearly been, like, injected with something, or there's some sort of mind poison going on, like... There's not, like... It's not like catatonic, where it's like... Oh my god, I saw a Wendigo, and the Wendigo looked at me, and I just shit my pants and came.
Yeah.
It's like, there seems to be a reason why, which is nuts, that this story is more coherent and more interesting than No Sleep. Like, unironically.
It's like the bridge between No Sleep and Short Story 1. It's the middle ground. It's just nonsensical enough to be interesting, and yet...
I think you should really just upload this there and don't say anything.
Yeah.
Or we could get Double to do it.
That's true.
Or just do it under like a handle or a throwaway account.
Yeah, Double.
Yeah, Double.
Fuck.
We'll get him banned again. That's fine.
Yeah.
He loves being banned from places. Most people don't have much strength left by the time they arrive, continued Rachel. They are weak, and their minds aren't strong enough to resist me. But I hope you're different, because I can feel your determination growing stronger every minute.
There's Undertale for you.
There's the Undertale. I can sense your desire to survive, and that gives me faith in you. I tried to open my eyes, but they wouldn't budge. But they wouldn't bulge, which is good, because I didn't want my eyes to explode.
Right.
Why didn't I have a choice? I asked.
Nope.
Because, Why did I have a choice? I asked. Because you have a brain, Rachel said, and you have a soul. And then everything went black. So we have another page break.
Man, I am going to sleep well tonight.
So you have dreams of this exact thing.
God, yeah. Watch me have like a nightmare of like a giant moth just oozing out of my ceiling or something.
A bunch of moth girls are going to fuck you tonight in your sleep.
Yes, I'm down for that.
Moth girls with food cocks.
Oh no. I can't handle that. He has to put the knob tongs back.
Oh my god. Hurry up, goddamn.
What? Why are people laughing at me while I'm not here?
was like,
this is about me.
Why was this taking so long? And Chelsea was like, he had to put the knob tongs back.
God damn it. Chelsea is a knob tong. What the?
I am. Oh.
Okay.
That cracked me up. The next thing I remembered was waking up. I was lying on a bed, surrounded by pillows.
Huh.
The room was dark and quiet.
Oh, damn it. She put all those decorative pillows on the bed. Fuck. It's over.
There was no sign of Rachel or Erica. The only sound was the soft hum of a fan somewhere above me. I tried...
I said,
of a fan.
I tried to move, but my arms and legs were still paralyzed. The pain was slowly creeping back into my head, making it harder to think. As I lay there quietly, trying to keep myself from screaming, I thought about the events of the past few hours, about the choices I had made.
So this actually, if you cleaned this up, which is an odd term because it's fine the way it is, but if you put it more like with a solid direction, this could all just be like an experience with having a stroke or something. I was in my office and I was in a room I didn't recognize, and I looked through a book that had no words, and I couldn't move, and I was paralyzed in a room. You know, like it's like just interesting.
Well, when you're dealing with no sleep stories, you're either dealing with a lot of tension over nothing, and there's nothing unique, and it's just very paint by numbers, or you're dealing with a lot of open plot threads that never go anywhere, but they're all different, spooky in different ways. This story is, and I would presume this AI, it doesn't have the downside of all of the different plot threads, because it's also kind of like putting them together in a way. There's obviously no actual thought behind this, right? But like, I can start to put these things together in my head much easier than I can your random category 2 no sleep author, if that makes any sense.
Cat 2. I tried to wait about the choices I'd made. I remembered the girl and the boy from my test group. Her name was Fiona. He was named Seth. I also recalled how I had been lured into the hidden room under the false pretense of reading a book. The whole process seemed so strange and surreal, and yet, deep down, I knew it was real. So he was lured in there by 2 children, apparently.
Okay, so this, or young people, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I think that this is like where we're actually getting into how they got into the back rooms.
Right.
And it's bizarre to see that the story, after all that time, is finally looping around to that.
I forced myself to roll over onto my side and looked at my phone. The last thing I remembered was checking the time on it a few minutes earlier, and now it read 11:20 p.m. I checked the date and realized that it was August 20th, which meant that I had been missing for a solid 12 hours.
I must have died sometime after 10 o'clock that night. So the story's just confirming we're dead.
Yeah.
And we're in purgatory, and this is Jacob's Ladder. I guess spoilers for Jacob's Ladder. That was when I started to panic.
I can't believe you spoiled Jacob's Ladder for me.
Wait a minute. You're telling me they don't just climb a ladder for 2 hours?
I thought they just climbed. I thought it was just, that scene from that Snake game where the guy just climbs a ladder to a song.
Croc? Yeah.
Croc, yeah. Oh my god. I tried to sit up and angry again, but my arms remained frozen. I shook my head and screamed, "Ah!" No one answered, at least no one I could see. It's time to meet the CEO of the SCP Foundation. Oh, you bet your ass it is, buzzed a voice over the intercom. At first, I thought it was the speaker outside of my room, but when I glanced upwards, I saw that it was attached to the ceiling, and it was pointing directly at me. "Hello?" I shouted. No response. "Mr. Lockwood?" Asked a voice.
So we got the name of our character, Mr. Lockwood.
I've had an erection for more than 4 hours.
Oh my god, he actually is locked in. Sorry, again.
I think we're bearing the lead on my excellent Viagra joke.
That is true.
Are you awake? If you are, please press the button on the wall next to your bed. I looked down at the button, but none of them seemed to respond. My arms wouldn't move.
Please remain calm, said the voice. Do not attempt to remove the device from its mound. Simply press the button and wait for me to enter the room. How? I yelled. Tell me how!
Just press the button,
Nothing.
Mr. Paralyzed guy.
It.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're just shouting at him to do this shit.
Still nothing. I tried to scream again, but the sound wouldn't come. I reached for the bell pull next to my bed, but even that wouldn't budge. I would assume it is essentially meaning he can't reach for it, but whatever. Mr. Lockwood, said the voice, I'm afraid I must insist that you do as I say. Please follow my instructions. I can't! I need to get out of here, I cried.
Can't get out of here, I cried. The voice paused. Mr. Lockwood, are you allowed to leave your room?
No, come on. We're at the end of the story. Give it some reverence.
You are
Jesus fucking
not allowed
Christ.
to leave your room under any circumstance. Stop interrupting me. You may not call for assistance, nor can you use any of the equipment in your room. It's very funny.
So you blew through it. You blew through it.
So we're at the SCP Foundation, and the newest addition is just a quadriplegic.
Mr. Lockwood.
SCP number 48-32XB is a man that can't move. It's very bizarre. We can't explain it. He was in a car crash.
He got a spine injury at his neck.
He's cocooned, if you will, in his own body.
Unable to become a butterfly.
All right, so this is the ending, which I wrote to bring it home because it was going on too long. So here it is.
That's when the horrible realization struck me. I had become the holder of not holding things.
Phenomenal. I love it.
The end. Incredible.
Amazing.
I wonder if he'll be a moth or a butterfly when he is released.
The two genders, moths and butterflies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, yeah.
So it's so weird that we earlier mentioned Hotel California, because I just so happen to have written up a Hotel California Inferkit, and by that I mean I wrote a paragraph, and then, the rest of it is what it is.
Did you do that while we were reading this, or did you do that previously?
I had already had it prepped. I'm ahead of the game.
Oh,
he wasn't
man,
paying
it's like
attention.
We're on the
He was
same
doing
wavelength.
that. Sorry.
No, so let's read some Hotel California. Again, the first paragraph. This is from Inferkit. The first paragraph, written by me. The rest of it, interpolated by the goddamn Inferkit buzzbots, whatever.
All right, there we go. I have it open. Go ahead.
I have it open. On a dark desert highway, I drive with the top down on my convertible as the cold wind blows my hair. My eyes are growing tired, so I'm looking carefully for a place to sleep. I'm now beginning to see the shimmering light of a sign that read Hotel California. Reads Hotel California, whatever, Brandon. I guess I'll stop for the night at this humble little hotel in the middle of the desert road. I parked and ate
chips.
And ate chips.
Eat chip?
Yeah, you're very happy about that, aren't you, Chelsea? Making fun of my speech impediment. I parked.
It's not a speech impediment. Come on.
It's a mind impediment.
Yeah, come on.
Which I guess all speech impediments are in the mind. I don't know. I parked and started walking towards the reception window, but just before I can open it, a hand reaches through the window and slams the top shut, scaring me. Oh, okay, so I remember that last sentence was not mine. I just did the desert road part, and then it started from I parked.
So the AI had a hand reach out and slam the window on you when you try to go up and check in. Interesting.
What do you know? I own the place now, at least until I get my money back, the man with the beard says to me.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm a guest here, so no need to rob it.
Hey, this is a Hotel California.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, it's me, Vinny California. How you doing? It's my hotel.
I realize that the room's lit up with candles on each of the bed, and the bathroom is filled with vanilla scents. I put my stuff in the extra bed in the corner. I'll just watch TV to pass the time, I think to myself. So I turn on the TV and try to relax.
Hey, so I just turn on the TV and I try to relax. As you do.
Hey!
I'm just imagining this is actually Hotel California lyrics. It's like, I sit on the bed and watch the local news.
I try to check in, but a hand slams it shut.
Lost my hand at the Hotel California.
California.
Tiny little broken bones. Can't hold the remote control.
Oh no!
In downtown Newark, run by Vinny, California.
Oh boy. Incredible.
Fuck.
Cute girl snorting at the Hotel California.
You can check in anytime you want, but you can never forget about it. Fuck.
Where even was I?
You were watching TV.
I'll just watch TV to pass the time, I think to myself. So I turn on the TV and try to relax.
Mm-hmm.
I flip on the remote, and a white man wearing a black suit with a top hat sitting on top of a black cat.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Why is this a Eminem lyric? Black suit with a top hat with a top black cat.
I put
Wait
on
a
a top
minute.
hat and a white suit and a black cat in my back pocket.
I wonder
Ow.
what's on the tube. Maybe they'll show some boobs.
Goddamn. Hey, I wonder what's on the tube. Maybe they'll show some boobs. Yeah, I can see it.
No, that's an actual Eminem lyric.
Oh,
That's why you
fuck,
can see
really?
it.
Yeah. And then I flip every channel till I find Hannah Montana. Then I reach for the aloe and lanolin.
God damn it.
Wait, is that like the
Yeah,
one song?
Yeah, we covered this on Fearfic.
Okay.
It's a callback. Are we familiar with that when we like reference other things that happened?
I'm in a black
Other
suit and a
things
top hat
happened?
and a black cat.
Wait a minute, this is Frank Zappa TV show. Why do I have this strange feeling I've seen on the big screen TV on the wall?
Okay, can we just admit Inferkit is inferior to NovelAI?
Inferior kit?
Why do I have this strange feeling I've seen on the on the big TV screen on the wall? What? That isn't even a sentence, Inferkit.
Okay, good, I'm not having a stroke.
Not
Or
yet.
maybe I am. But it still just says that. I'm in an honest-to-goodness motel, sitting on a motel broom bed. Then it starts. I hear the mysterious music, Lovers by Carlos Santana.
What the fuck?
That's the song you pull, nothing California related
Welcome
whatsoever.
to the Carlos Santana.
They didn't go for like a Red Hot Chili Pepper song. Nothing. Just Carlos Santana. Okay.
All right.
It was way before the World Series. Up, up, and away. For sale. Rare baseball cards on sale. New issue collections. My mind started drifting back to the beginning. The fifth inning of game... My mind started drifting back to the beginning. The fifth inning of Game 3. It's all fucking Eminem lyrics all the way down. The moment baseball was declared dead in 1993 when Steve Garvey pulled a ground ball back to pitcher David Stewart. What the fuck?
What is happening?
I tried to relax my mind enough to remember the score and my next few moves. Then I decided I was wasting my time.
I tried to relax my mind enough to let the story go somewhere completely unrelated.
But I was just wasting time. It wasn't much longer until I heard the distinctive sound of the double-barrel shotgun from the other room. The words, "Blood in the water," started floating in my mind, and I took off toward the counter yelling, "We're dead! Down! Down and out!"
Wow. Okay. So we just have Mr. Nirvana killing himself in the other room.
Mr. Nirvana. Vinny Nirvana.
Vinny Nirvana here.
Vinny Nirvana here from the band Nirvana.
Listen, you can check out anytime you like, but that hand injury I gave you, that'll last a lifetime, pal. Okay? All
What's that smell? It's Teen Spirit.
The sentence was out of my mouth before I knew it, before I knew what was happening. The shotgun barrels had hit me right in the forehead, and another one to the chest. There wasn't much pain as the shotgun was loaded with the powder and the bullets to go with it.
Okay.
There wasn't much pain as the shotgun was loaded with powder and the bullets to go. So it's a musket?
I guess.
Yeah.
I think they don't
It's gotta
understand.
be.
Maybe next time I'll grab a musketeer, put a musket in his ear. The fuck?
Put a musket in his rear.
No, wait, a mouseketeer. That would be more Eminem.
Yeah.
I'll put a musket in the ear of a mouseketeer.
He does like childish things, like not just in like
children,
crude children things. Yeah, like Creepypasta. He likes children anyway. There was a piece of skull had popped out of it, but I didn't need to worry about that because the body was still seated in the chair. I stood in front of the body and took out the keys that were in the dead man's pocket. Wait a minute. This guy has a mirror on his necklace. Maybe I can hold these keys to his car over his heart.
Mm-hmm.
I turned on the car and drove before anyone could say anything.
Good work, Inferkit. You tried. Here's a little. Here's a participation star.
It put together sentences, so.
Even then, sometimes it didn't.
It's weird how much. Yeah, that's true. It's weird how much that did sort of come around to, like, Kurt Cobain. Like, what the fuck? He's sitting in the chair. Like, that's odd.
Well, he didn't use a double-barrel shotgun, though.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Okay, these are important details.
Okay.
It was weird that it was like, yeah, it didn't hurt because it was loaded with powder.
And the bullets to go with it. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
That was a fun series of AI.
Mm-hmm. And look forward to our next episode where we read more AI stories.
I'm having a great time with it.
And they're both going to be from NovelAI.
Yeah, hopefully. Once I figure out how to learn how to use it.
Yes. Old boomer DP. Chelsea, close the show with a song. Go ahead.
No. Bye.
Yeah, there you go.
Featured on Eminem's new album, Chelsea Comer.
The song No.
No.
Bye.
No.
Ass-eyes,
no.
loser.
Yeah.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Kind Sir Gawain, I don't mean to be a bother, but you must understand, I am dead, and I cannot rest as a spirit. I can't enter heaven and leave this world behind. I have unfinished business in this lake, and to put my soul to rest, I need you to retrieve a precious item from the bottom of the lake and put it back in its rightful place.
And what will I get for doing this?
Sir Gawain, if you are truly a man of honor, you'll retrieve this item from the bottom of this lake.
You can't just, float up there into heaven. I mean, this lake is really dark, and I can't swim very well. Plus, the trees are blocking out the moon, so we're getting no light. It's just going to be hard to find my way around.
Stop being cringe and dive into this lake, my little pog champ.
Okay, fine. So, you want me to receive your severed head from the bottom of the lake?
No, actually, my head is fine. It is attached to the rest of my body.
Then, what is it that you want me to receive? What is the object? I swear, if it's some little ring or something, you're cussing out of luck. I'm not drowning looking for something small.
Well, it's not small.
What is it?
My vibrator, okay? It's my vibrator.
Your vibrator.
At the bottom of the lake, it's 9 inches long, kind of ribbed design. It's the one that goes for 3 gold pieces at Spencer's Gifts and Apothecary.
I can't believe I'm going to dive into this lake looking for a dildo.
Vibrator, not dildo. And you're not going to die. I'm going to die of embarrassment if this conversation lasts any longer. So please hurry up.
Fine.
Oh yeah, I didn't turn it off. Oh right, that's how I died.
Shit, lady, now I'm dead. Has this ever happened to you? Tired of dying because your vibrator wasn't waterproof, and you died of electrocution when your pussy juices mixed with battery acid? I'm Grant Cockgoblin, here for celibacy. You should just stop having impure thoughts, or you'll die. I can't believe I'm dead because of this thought.
Yeah, but I'm easy, and you're a ghost now too.
How can I compete with a 9-inch vibrator?